Hey friends, Ash here with Gent Sense. Hope you're doing well. Today, I'm going to be going over with you guys my top 6 favorite Prada Luna Rossa fragrances from my least favorite to my most favorite. So you could kind of think of this as a Luna Rossa buying guide. I'm also going to be giving you my wife's choices, so her least favorite to her most favorite as well. So you have 2 different opinions here. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about Luna Rossa. Now, the Prada Luna Rossa line is one that I think is really well done. Usually these fragrances very easy to wear, very appealing, very versatile, and the quality is very good too. So this is 6 fragrances, it's not 7, because Luna Rossa Extreme, even though it's awesome, it's discontinued. So this one's really difficult to find. If you want it, you're probably gonna have to go to eBay or something and pay some astronomical jacked up price. So I'm not going to include it in this list. If I did include it though, it would be toward the top. Thanks for discontinuing Extreme, Prada. Thanks a lot. So let's jump into this. I'm gonna go from my number 6 to my number 1, then I'll let you guys know what my wife's number 6 through her number 1 was. So starting off with my number 6 fragrance in the Luna Rossa line, this one is my least favorite of the bunch, but frankly, I don't think any of these fragrances are terrible. I don't think any of them are even bad really, but you gotta start somewhere. So number 6, Eau Sport. Luna Rossa Eau Sport has kind of a soapy feel to it, more so than any of the other fragrances in the entire line. So if you're going for something that's just gonna have you smelling soapy, fresh, and clean, then this probably would be your best bet. But for me, I think it's the least memorable of the bunch. It has lavender, ambergris, ginger, cedar, and citron, along with bergamot as the notes in the fragrance. It's really well done for summertime, daytime use, or as a gym fragrance. But outside of that, I would probably choose any of the other fragrances in this list over Eau Sport. Another thing with this one is the bottle. It's different than all the other fragrances in the line. This one's 125 milliliters at the larger size instead of the more typical 100 milliliter size. So while that's good, because you get more fragrance in it, it also is a little bit bad because it sticks out, it doesn't fit in. And I think that's just this fragrance in general. It seems almost like an afterthought sometimes. So Eau Sport for me, number 6. It's not bad if you just want something soapy, fresh, and clean, but the other ones are better. Hey guys, before we go any further, I need to give a shout out and a thanks to the Beast Mode Gents for sponsoring this channel. These guys are the top tier of Gent Sense sponsors. These guys rule, but so do all of you guys that are members. I love all of you deeply. If you want to check out the perks that you can get by joining the Gent Sense membership program, click the little join button below. I think if you're on mobile, you might have to click a little link that's in my description. So there's like a little description piece that says, join this channel for perks, blah, blah, blah. Click that, it'll pull it up. So again, shout out to all these awesome guys. Back to the video. My number 5 is Luna Rossa Sport. So we had Eau Sport and now just Sport. This one smells like Prada's take on Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male, the original. And that's pretty much what you're getting here. Vanilla and lavender with kind of a powdery feel. This one also has tonka, juniper, and ginger, so it's gonna have a little more of a fresh opening as compared to Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. But if you're familiar with that fragrance, when you smell this one, you'll be able to pick up the similarities like that. Interestingly, I don't know how much I view this as a straight up sport scent, because it does go pretty heavy into the vanilla and lavender, which again comes across a little powdery here, so it's not something I would immediately think of as a fantastic fragrance to wear if you're gonna be sweating up a storm. But it's still well done, it smells nice, and I would pick that over Eau Sport. Now we are at number 4. My choice is gonna be the original Luna Rossa. This is how the packaging is on the bottle now, and this is how it used to be. Both of these though are the same fragrance, Luna Rossa, the original. So this also makes heavy use of lavender, which ties it in with the last 2 fragrances. But here you're getting bitter orange and some mint in the top. So it gives it this really bright, fresh kind of bite and a little touch of green to it as well. As it dries down, you're gonna get a decent amount of ambroxan Ultimately, this one feels really fresh, clean, easy to wear, just like the last two fragrances. But I do find Luna Rossa to be a little more interesting in the opening. That bitter orange and the mint work together really well. And there's a touch of clary sage in here also through the mid, which adds a little more of that green, slight herbaceousness to the scent. So overall, I think Luna Rossa, the original, even though, you know, it's been out for a while and it's been overshadowed by a lot of the flankers that came after it, is still, to me, a little more interesting than Sport and O Sport. Now, I'll say here really quickly that when I view the Luna Rossa line personally, I view it almost as two separate parts. Okay, so the first part is Luna Rossa Sport, Luna Rossa O Sport. Those three fragrances are pretty closely knit. You know, they're really similar in a whole bunch of ways, and they would be used in pretty much all the same situations. They're more of a daytime, spring, summer, casual, office-friendly type of scent profile. And then you have the flankers that came after that, and those are almost like a completely separate Luna Rossa vibe. So those three fragrances are Carbon, Ocean, and Black, and they don't really have a whole lot in common with the original Luna Rossa. So for me, it's kind of a tale of two Luna Rossas here. And I will say that choices 3 and 2 are like this, neck and neck. There's almost nothing separating them in terms of how much I like them. It would really depend on the day, you know, as to which one I wanted to wear, but I had to break it out. So number 3 is going to be Ocean, which is the newest Luna Rossa as of this video. Bergamot, lavender, iris, and vetiver as some of the notes in the scent. And this one really basically just smells like Prada's take on a blue fragrance. And I know that's super simplistic, and I mean, you look at the bottle and it is blue and the name of it is Ocean, and you're like, yeah, I get it. But still, that's what it is. So you're gonna find maybe little bits and pieces of inspiration from other very popular blue fragrances that have been on the market. You know, things like maybe Dylan Blue or Bleu de Chanel. You're gonna find some inspiration of those scents in this bottle. But this does come with that Prada cleanliness that you would expect, that versatility, that pop of freshness. All of that is here. The more time I spend with this fragrance, the more I like it, and people seem to love this stuff. Compliment beast. So if that's what you're after, you should check this one out. For me, number 3. Number 2, Luna Rossa Carbon. Now this, just like Sport as a bit of an inspired by fragrance, is also an inspired by fragrance. This one, Dior Sauvage. It's got lavender, ambroxan, bergamot, and metallic notes as some of the notes in the scent. So you're gonna get that ambroxan forward feel like from Dior Sauvage, but a little bit more rounded off, not as aggressive, and frankly, a little bit easier to wear. Because like I said, it's a little smoother, a little more rounded off, and not quite as aggressive as I just mentioned. But the performance here is still fantastic. I'd say of all the Luna Rossas, Carbon is the most popular as of when I'm filming this video, and for good reason. You can wear that daytime, nighttime, any season, any place, it's gonna work. So my number 1, Luna Rossa Black. This stuff is awesome, absolutely love it. Tonka, amber, bergamot, and patchouli, some of the notes in the scent here. I've said this a bunch of times, I'll say it again. It smells a little bit like Bulgari Black mixed with Midnight in Paris from Van Cleef & Arpels, which is a long discontinued fragrance at this point, which commands an enormous price tag. It stands apart from pretty much every other designer fragrance being actively sold on the market today. Very unique smelling, and it has a surprisingly large amount of uses in terms of daytime or nighttime use. It kind of gets shoehorned into being a fall and winter evening fragrance. That's what most people think, but really you can pull this off nearly year round. You just need to, dial your sprays up or down depending on where you're going and what you're doing. It has this great kind of mysterious quality to it. Good amount of sweetness, but not too much. Warmth from that Tonka as well. Fantastic fragrance. And I'll tell you, these top 3, Luna Rossa, Carbon, Ocean, and Black, all 3 are just monsters for pulling positive attention from people and great reactions. So that's my top 6. Now I'm gonna give you the top 6 of my wife with just some quick commentary that she gave me while she was working through these. So her number 6 was Oh Sport, and she did not like this as much as I do. I don't think it's bad. I think it's decent, you know? It's not as good as these other fragrances in the list, but still solid. Her, she hated it. She thought it just smelled cheap, and it was something she didn't care for a bit. Her number 5 was Sport. This one also, she just didn't really gravitate toward. It was really quick for her. Number 6, number 5, immediately. As soon as she smelled them, she was like, nope, get that out of here. Everything from number 4 forward, she liked a lot. Now, the number 1, she chose immediately. The second she smelled it, she was like, that's it, I love it. But she's familiar with it at this point, but yeah, instant. But we'll get to that. Number 4, the original. So she and I, up to this point, exact same feelings. But that's where we stop agreeing. For number 3, she had Carbon, surprisingly. She's always liked Carbon, still does really enjoy it. But the 2 above this, she gravitates toward more. Number 2, Black. Yeah, Black. She loves the way this stuff smells off skin. Absolutely drawn to it. And yet, Ocean was her number 1 choice, and it was instant. When I tell you instant, I mean, that is the first thing she wrote down. She was smelling all of them. And like I said, she smelled this a few times now since I got this in. I've been wearing it a bit, but as soon as she smelled that, she just wrote down on the piece of paper 1, Ocean, and then she went to the bottom and started working her way up to the top. So for her, it started with Ocean, then she did 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That is how clear the winner was for her. Now for me, with the top 3, I kind of waffled and I smelled and resmelled and resmelled and changed and resmelled and changed. Not her. So those are my top 6 Prada Luna Rossa fragrances and my wife's top 6 as well. I think overall, if you're just looking for a Luna Rossa fragrance for gym use, casual use in the spring and summer, the original is a great choice. I think if you want overall versatility, maximum amount of usage where you're gonna get lots of compliments, lots of attention, and you can use it as a dumb reach, you should look at Carbon and Ocean. And if you want a sweet, warm, sexy evening fragrance, again, I'm kind of shoehorning, but an evening fragrance, better for cool weather, Black. And I would say of all these fragrances here, this one is gonna smell the most unique to the most people. So that is it for Prada Luna Rossa. Love the line, can't wait to see what they come out with next. Those are my favorites and my wife's. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite from this line? And also let me know the least favorite, I guess. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there. See you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.